Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing this fine morning? If you're in the UK, you're probably freezing your nads off. It's absolutely freezing. Frost on the car again. Luckily, I've got a car that automatically defrosts itself in the morning, so I don't care. Not that I go anywhere, because obviously I work from the office at home anyway, but hey. Yeah, cold out there today. Anyway, how's everybody doing? Everybody wide awake, ready to go? Thursday morning. Half of the week has disappeared, which is good. Nearly the weekend. Today we have news of CPI today, isn't it? No, PPI today. So PPI at 130. And obviously we've got unemployment, which comes out at the same time. Brainard is rescheduled back in to speak this afternoon. He was yesterday and didn't happen. Vanished from the news there and popped into today. So then we've got the bond auctions later. So bond auctions don't tend to do an awful lot. Unlikely Brainard will unless he drops a bomb. But yeah, so 1:30 this afternoon, PPI. Yesterday we had CPI and crude. So impacts yesterday on the Dixie. You can see obviously this is London. This is where the news sort of, just after the news kicked in. So negative US dollar yesterday off of CPI, PPI, CPI, DPI. It's all the same stuff. It's news. So we broke out of our little channel that we've been in. We've been in this range for absolutely ages. And we finally broke it yesterday to the downside. I was expecting a break to the upside, but we broke down, which is fine. So we need to look at where we're heading on the Dixie now. And obviously this is the next level of support. So we got nice double top support, smashed through it, haven't been back since. This propulsion candle here created this nice big buying pressure propulsion gap. That also coincides with ADR today. So if we can get continuation pushed down today to this level, looking like a nice little bounce area, really, really nicely extended US dollar. A lot weaker than I was expecting it to be, an awful lot weaker than I was expecting it to be. But it's a really, obvious support. So we'll see what happens when we get there. But obviously we're in an uptrend on the US dollar. The COT report is long the US dollar. We're expecting US dollar to continue to strengthen. So yeah, just a really deep 72 bounce potentially. But yeah, a lot more of a drop off than I was expecting. So yeah, so that was the impact of the news yesterday. Obviously today they may well just go, nah, we'll go back, reverse it. So we'll see what happens. Yesterday I banked 4.7. I banked something this morning. That's a nice surprise. Nice to wake up to money, isn't it? So yesterday, Euro New Zealand bank this morning. EA must have taken that off for me. Is the EA flat? What position is that? Euro New Zealand. Oh no, that's the EA. Oh, that was the TP I set, wasn't it? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I set TP. So I've hit TP this morning on one of my positions. Here. Yeah, there you go. You can see it. TP. Reason TP was placed there was because of this propulsion gap and support, which we hit. So yeah, Euro New Zealand just banked that 0.2%, not a big one, it's a little one. Yesterday I banked a load of CAD Swiss. So that's a really nice trade, that CAD Swiss. Just basically got out there. So that was off the back of a 4-hour extension on RSI, which got nicely embedded. So I exited that one. We're pulling back at the moment. Obviously, this reversal alert we've just got is potentially the start of the drop. So looks good. Nice propulsion gap in there to short out of. If you want to get into more shorts on this CAD Swiss, short out of there. So this is the typical H4 M15 strategy for any of you that are familiar or have been around for a while and know my indicators and strategy. This is the old H4 M15 strategy where you get an H4 reversal alert, you drop down to M15, you wait for a pullback into the area of the reversal alert, and then you take shorts out of it when you get market structure shifts. So really nice looking reversal on that one. CAD Swiss, Euro Swiss, I banked all of that yesterday as well, gone flat on that one. All these positions here, took all those out as we came into this gap, which is rejected and is pushing higher. We haven't got a reverse alert on this one. Obviously main reason because we had that massive, strong 24-hour solid push. So at the moment on this one, we are still in this 24.72 zone, and this is a hell of a sell-off. We've been waiting for the Swiss franc to power up, and yesterday we got it finally. So this is a result of the Swissy moving. If we get continuation move on that Swiss franc today, that would be absolutely ideal. But we'll see. It's pulling back up into this big propulsion candle at the moment. So there's obviously a lot of selling pressure that has come in here. So on the hourly, you can see it a bit clearer. That's where we want to be getting short. Obviously, we've had the reverse alert, we've had the retest. This was a short that was taken on Wednesday, or Tuesday rather. So yeah, continuations to the downside on this one. We're pulling back nicely. Look at fib if you want to use fibs. If you're a fib fan, 50% retracement right now. Looking for 61.8 as a deep retracement and then drop. So looking really good. Euro Swiss. I'm obviously out of it already though, so I don't get greedy. I just bank it. Rather have it over here in my bank than potentially going into drawdown if it was for any reason to continue to push. And Aussie CAD, banked that one yesterday as well. That was a long. Obviously, we got massively extended on the Aussie CAD and embedded. You see I got in here. First position, we were embedded about 25. Just consolidated and had another little drop. Took a second position, reversal alert, out. And again, if you want to continue longing it, there's your play. But I'm out of that one already. So yeah, that's everything I banked yesterday. So good day yesterday, and obviously started off with a little bit of a bank this morning. I've got on Euro Swiss still, so I am still holding some Euro Swiss. So I've still got 3 positions on Euro Swiss. If we can get up there, I'll probably take an additional short up there. So I'm still thinking this is a short. But remember this area here, obviously you can see what I drew in. I couldn't get much closer to the pip, could I? Look at that. So this is the level I drew in yesterday to say, you know, this is where I would expect to get to. And then bounce from, boing. So that kind of movement I would expect today. What else am I holding? Euro New Zealand. So I've got 2 euros short. I've got nothing else on now. I'm unexposed. So again, this is the level I drew. Yeah. There you go. So yeah, bounced perfectly at this gap. That's where my TP was. I've still got this one position I'm holding on it at the moment for a further drop. I think we've got much more further drop on this one. So holding it short. This is the one. Let's go to the daily and extend this. So I should be able to double click that, hold shift, and it goes horizontal. Yeah, see, I learned something yesterday. Adjust a line, hold shift, and it makes it flat and horizontal. God, genius. So there's our range. This is our control candle. We pushed up really hard, and since then we have sat in there. We poked our head above once, but weren't interested. These lows, we go big wicks at the lows, lots of buyers coming in at the bottom, big wicks at the top, lots of sellers coming in at the top. So I'm expecting to come down. Now the difference here we've got obviously now is we are potentially starting and trying to establish a trend. So we've got the 72 now propping price up very, very nicely. The 24 is looking a little supportive as well. And we need to see what happens when we get down to there today. That will coincide with the top of that daily candle there. So we'll see what happens when we get down there. We may get a bounce, but equally we could just come down and challenge these lows again, which is what I'm anticipating happening. So yeah, Euro and New Zealand, I've still got the one long. And the other positions I've got my S&Ps and my Nasdaqs. So I've got just got these two on S&P at the minute in profit, and I've got what have I got on the Nasdaq at the moment? I've got 3 on the Nas. Just about break even on that one. So that's all I've got on. Nice light. Light exposure at the moment, but I've done my month basically. I could give up this month. I'm done. 20%, more than enough. But I'm not going to. Right, so let's have a look at where we are today. Anybody got any questions on anything? Anybody want to look at anything in particular? Spammers in the Telegram group. Gotta love their determination, haven't you? Wow. Can't even spell wow properly. It's an O in the middle, Mr. Spammer, not an A. Wow. Now, I believe that there is also real and legit company. I started trading since on Tuesday till now. I have made a lot of profit after so many lose. Even today I received 15,500 from Mr. Scott William Company. It's real and legit. Really? Please don't go and visit those links. Love them. So this is what happens to you when you start spamming in my Telegram group. Okay, just so you know. Bye-bye. God. Never give up, do they? Never give up. It's the same in Discord, Telegram, any social media. I spend the first 10 minutes of my morning going on to all my posts on Facebook and deleting that sort of crap. Don't fall for it, guys. Really. Anyway, carry on. Pound odd. Pete wants to have a look at pound odd. I did see your DM this morning, Pete, so I haven't had a chance to look at it yet. I've been running behind. I had spin class at 6:45 this morning, and I don't really get any times on Thursday morning. We'll have a look at the ADRs and RSIs in a minute. Pound odd. Pound odd, we haven't got extended yet. We put in a double top. Strong level that. Very strong level. But we are, if you were to draw a wedge, we're in a ascending wedge. Now, ascending wedges, you're taught that. I don't, when you get a contraction, an accumulation and contraction, obviously, I've got a symmetrical triangle indicator and a strategy I used to trade with symmetrical triangles. I still do occasionally. When I spot them, I trade them. But any kind of formation like that can break either way. When you get a contraction in price, it means there's a tight accumulation, which means that they are getting ready for a move. Just because the angle is horizontal with an ascending trend line doesn't mean it's going to break down. It's going to break. That's what it means. So you don't know which way it's going to go. Really good play on any triangle, as you'll see if you watch my symmetrical triangle video, or wedge, is when you see the contraction getting tighter and tighter, go pending and pending. Yeah, when it breaks, it's either going to do that or that, isn't it? Yeah. So as long as you've got a positive risk reward ratio, one of those is going to win. Really good contraction patterns. Any contraction pattern is always really, really good to trade. Trade it with a stop. But you don't know which way it's going to go. I don't know which way it's going to go. It's going to go one way or the other. There is the danger of getting whipsawed. Yeah. doing that, in which case you get stopped out in both directions. Happens occasionally, but most of the time, once it starts going in one direction, it will go. So with pound odd, difficult to tell direction at the moment. There's no directional bias from the commitment of traders report, so there's no futures bias. But obviously, it's more bullish than bearish. Market structure is more bullish, I think, than bearish. We need to break this high, basically. So very difficult. We've got the reversal alert down here, and we're testing. So I'd be looking for longs on it. But where it is at the moment, obviously, it's difficult to tell which direction it's going in. But if it is going to long, you've got a nice propulsion move here, which broke those highs. So that would coincide with a 24 bounce for a continuation to the upside. Or it could just bounce off of this support. If it's going to go long, obviously we just had a reversal alert short, so it could just retest and drop. I don't know is the honest answer. It's not extended on RSI, so I'm not trading it. But if you're short on it, are you short or long on it? Are you on it? Guess is the question. But would have been short on it up here, in which case I'll be getting out here if you're short on it. But that's my analysis on it anyway. So ADRs. Obviously, weekly ranges, Thursdays, if anything's extended on the weekly, which we've got a few, Euro, US dollar CAD, US dollar Swish, obviously the US dollar pairs have dropped dramatically. So these are all extended. They've exceeded their normal weekly ranges. If we're going to get reversals put in, they tend to happen Wednesdays, Thursdays on the weekly ranges. So these guys here are obviously fairly good opportunities. So if you have a look at the Euro US dollar, the Euro we know is a short bias because it's absolutely terrible. So Peter was short on that one. Yeah. So yeah, I'll be looking to, obviously that support I looked at, I'll be looking to get out. Or wait for a bounce there if you need to get in more and go shorter. Euro US dollar, very nicely extended. Where we're going with this one, difficult. We're waiting for some US dollar strength. That's the first level of resistance. That's the second level of resistance. We've got another potential resistance here. So this is a zone, resistance zone up there, which has also got a propulsion gap in it as well. So I'd be looking basically there. If we can get to ADR on Euro US dollar today, I'd be jumping all over that. It's really extended on H4. We'll have a look at the H4 extensions in a minute. But obviously you've seen what's happened to the Dixie. It's collapsed quite hard. But this thing's due a pullback. So if you look at where we've got, how far we've got to go to get down to here. Yeah. The Euro US dollar, basically, to cut a long story short, is the inverse of the Dixie, if you didn't know. So this is the opposite of the Dixie. So it's the same thing. Yeah, we're waiting to get up to there to drop. Nicely extended. Looking at the Dixie, it's the opposite. Look, nicely extended. Looking for a drop and a bounce. Right. So Euro US dollar is looking like a really good opportunity, but you want to wait for some strength, which we haven't got at the moment. So at the minute, we are still pushing higher out of Asia. So if this thing continues to go, yeah, I mean, it's just going to look like a really, really, really nice short. So very nicely extended on above its normal weekly ranges. Lovely propulsion gaps in there for targets to aim for potential bounces. And obviously the market will want to come down and test these areas at some point. US dollar CAD, same thing. US dollar CAD, big, strong push. We've got this level drawn in here, which is this 4-hour zone. So again, this is a support zone. Whenever you're drawing support and resistance, yeah, you know support and resistance doesn't hit to the pip. It does hit to the pip, as you can see. a lot of the time, but it doesn't react necessarily there. It will have a reaction, but it doesn't bounce necessarily to the pip. It's a zone, it's an area, it's a rough point where in the past we've had some reaction of price. So we're pushing through there at the moment. Doesn't mean we're not going to put a bullish engulfing and go. So again, massive extension on the 4 hour. If we do break through this level, we are then going to get into all of this chop. Lots and lots of balance where the market has been very happy to conduct business and trade in the past. When we get to there, we will either hit the brakes and do the same thing, or more than likely everybody that's been selling here in this rally will take their profits and bring price back up. So again, looking really good from an extension point of view. Same as the US dollar Swiss, come down big. This one's obviously reacted this morning already. Looks like we might have a weak Swissy starting as well. So yeah. So my Euro Swiss will be, so up into this zone. So we've got a weak Swissy at the minute. So that's why the US dollar Swiss is having a little bounce out of this bullish area from back here. So we're retesting basically this level. So yeah, that looks really good for a long as well. So all good longs. There's New Zealand dollar Swiss extended above ADR. That's not extended above ADR. Ignore that one. Good lesson in broker candles. This is not ADR is measured from the low of the day to the high. The way the ADR indicator works, for those that don't know, you can see this red line is creeping up. Look, watch this red line. As price pushes, it's not going to push now, is it? Now I'm making an example of it. It's not going to move. No, let's pull back. Look, as this pushes, this line will get dragged up. Yeah, because what we're looking for is the high of the day, measuring ADR away from it. That is where our ADR is. Lower the day, we measure up to there, 39.8 pips, and that is our ADR high of the day. This is where the market closed, and my lovely broker decided to gap me down by 10 pips, a third of an ADR. So when you see this, whenever I see an ADR, I look at the chart. If I see that, I go, nah, that's not ADR yet. And I look at this and measure up from there. Yeah, so it's not really an ADR hit, but look at it at the moment where we are. Whoops. Can't draw. Oh, what? I'm no Tony Hart, you know. If you don't know who Tony Hart is, you're obviously very young and you're not from the UK. So there's two liquidity areas there, which we've just grabbed, potentially for a drop. So yeah, that's not really an ADR hit. So those are the ones I'll be looking at there, the Euro US dollar CAD, and US dollar Swiss. But we're going to look at those again on here because obviously they are all going to be massively extended on the 4 hour charts. So 4 hours today. Opportunities. Aussie dollar, US dollar. So we've got a real tight contraction. Balance area here. Range, whatever you want to call it. Where we have been very, very happy to trade since beginning of December, which we haven't moved out of yet. So we've got a weak Swiss franc at the moment, which is pushing this one up, back up into these highs. We are in a downtrend overall, as you can see. The moving averages are red. So for me, this is a nice opportunity to start getting into some shorts. I've already got a Euro Swiss short on at the moment with 4 positions on. So I don't really want to get into another Swissy. Obviously, I have my 2 pair rule where I don't get exposed on more than two positions on a single currency. But if I've got a bit of drawdown on one in particular, like I have on the Euro Swiss at the moment, I haven't got a lot. It's only 1%. It's nothing. But I've got 4 positions on. So I don't really want to add a New Zealand dollar Swiss to my portfolio at the moment, because if the Swissy does continue to weaken, all I'm going to do is give myself more exposure to the Swissy and more drawdown. So I've got this Swiss franc position, which I'm managing along with the euro at the moment. So personally for me, I wouldn't take this one, but It's not extended anyway, but it is a lovely range bound trade. So, we've got these highs here, and here. Yeah, as really nice levels that we could potentially be bouncing off and continuing in this range. But it's a 40 ADR pair, so that's really all you're going to be looking at from profit perspective. But it's an ADR or so down, isn't it? So worth taking. Yeah, so what were we looking at the New Zealand dollar Swiss for? Sorry. I'm on the wrong pair, aren't I? Oh, it's too early in the morning for me. Oh, yes, because that was the ADR hit, wasn't it? Right, yeah, so anyway, going on to the 4 hours, start again, reset, pretend you didn't see that last bit. Aussie dollar, US dollar, RSI extensions. Really, really nice high extension on this. So all the Aussies have had a really decent push yesterday. Yeah, so we had lots of nice upward momentum across all of these. Aussie dollar, US dollar in particular, because we had a strong Aussie dollar coupled with a weak US dollar, we had an extenuating circumstance which gave us a bigger push than normal. This area here is where we initially, I'd say that's probably where we really started that move, that bearish engulfing there. But this is where we started to get some momentum before we broke the lows and obviously continued to the downside. Again, haven't tested this area yet, so this is the first test of this this zone here. So very, 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 very nicely extended. We could well just get a bit of a pullback, consolidation pullback on it. It's not been particularly strong with drops at the moment, mainly because of the US dollar going into that massive consolidation that we've seen on the Dixie. So, but expecting US dollar strength to come through, because the US dollar is absolutely exhausted, obviously, to the downside. Everybody's been selling the hell out of it. So there will be a profit take move on it, which means we will get a power up on the US dollar, which will obviously bring the Aussie US down. So that's a nice looking short. I haven't got any on at the moment, so I might have a look at getting into one of those. Drop down obviously to lower time frame, look for a reversal alert. 3-bar reversal just going in on the Aussie at the moment as well on M15. Reversal alert would be down there on M5, which is 80 pips away. Sorry, 23 pips on the 15 minute, 8 pips on the 5 minute. So we'd probably look at getting in on a 5 minute reversal. Lovely M pattern formation going in as well on this one at the moment. So looking good for shorts. So keep an eye on that one, that Aussie US. What other USs has we got? I might get into some US today. Let's skip over quickly to the US dollar CAD. I much prefer that one. So yeah, US dollar CAD, obviously we are way extended down here, much bigger extension. We have had a profit take on this move. This initial move, we got a profit take move. It's not particularly big, but it probably was a 31 retracement. Yeah, 38 retracement up to there. So we did get a profit take move on that one. So this one we haven't, obviously, as of yet. So big strong move down to there. We would look for at least a 38.50 to 61 retracement. Obviously this is the area that I would be interested in, getting up into there and then getting a reversal alert out of that if you wanted to short it. But from a mean reversion perspective, looking like we're going to get a pullback on this one. So US dollar CAD is what I'm going to go for. 7-8. Longs. And M5. Yep. So I'm going to take the next M5 reversal alert on US dollar CAD long. Start getting into a position on that one. Really, really nice extension on H4. That just exhausted. Anything below the 20. When we get to the 75, I'm really, really interested. When we get to the 80, I'm super interested. If we get to the 85, I'm all over it like a rash. Yeah. When you get to these sorts of levels, even if it does continue to push, it just shows more signs of exhaustion. And the further that thing goes, the bigger that spring is going to bounce back. If you've watched the Boocamp, this is what the elastic band analogy is. Yeah, the longer and the tighter you stretch that elastic band, yeah, without letting go, the faster that thing's going to ping back. Yeah, so the more stretched and elongated we get, i.e. the more strength in selling there is on the RSI, the relative strength of these currencies, the longer that goes on, the faster that snapback tends to be. Yeah, so you get that big reaction. So big stretch, ping back. Yeah, big stretch, ping back. That's what we're looking for. So US dollar CAD really nicely extended. The other US dollars, we'll cover those while we're on them. US dollar yen. Yen, I'm still unsold on the yen. I don't know the yen, what the yen's up to at the minute. We're in no man's land at the minute. I just don't really like this. I'd like it long. It's good rejection wicks to the downside. We're in a nice-ish area. We're probably bouncing off of this high here at the moment. Yeah, so we're bouncing off of this high here, which is these highs here. So it's this whole area here where I've got on the chart, that whole zone really is supportive. Where in it, it's a choppy mess. So whereabouts in here we're going to come back from, difficult to tell. But the chances are here we could see a strengthen on the yen. But we're expecting a bit of a strengthen on the US dollar. So either way, I think this is a very nice long as well. But US dollar yen is a choppy, wicky mess a lot of the time because these guys tend to move together a lot of the time. So I don't really trade it that much, but I much prefer US dollar CAD. US dollar Swiss, obviously we got extended as well. That one we've missed. If you got into that one this morning, you just about got into it. M5 15, we just had a reversal at M5, it's already gone. Hourly, haven't had one yet, but there's so much room. This whole big 5-hour selling rally yesterday is likely to get faded back up to here. So good opportunity for a long on this one. Filled these gaps in. We've reacted off of this support as a double bottom, this buying area here. So yeah, lovely. When you get a reversal alert on this one on the hourly, play it back up there, 60 pips. It's an ADR. So that looks good as well. So all these US dollars look great. Euro US dollar, obviously, we've looked at already. Massively extended. Beautiful wick going on the hourly. Look, live shooting star. If we get a rejection down today, sorry, in the next hour, that'll be a 3-bar reversal. Reversal alert, pull it back down to here somewhere. What else we haven't covered? Pound US dollar, same thing as Euro US dollar. Big extension, nice shooting star going in at the moment. Extended on the hourly, extended on the 4 hourly. We are above the 80 level now on that one. So again, another good opportunity to go in short. So like all of those. And New Zealand dollar, US dollar. So yeah, US dollar is obviously the short of the day or the long of the day, depending on which of these you're looking at. But New Zealand dollar, US dollar, again, really nice area here. So this is our support resistance. We just broken above it. 72 coming down on top to potentially push it down when the US dollar powers up. If for any reason the US dollar continues to drop, there's a long way to go. So, but it's the same with all of these. You know, you're going to, if the US dollar continues on the downside and squeezes, you're going to get squeezed. And if you get squeezed, you just have to manage the position. So, but yeah, lots of opportunities there. Hopefully you've got in and out of everything that was extended over the last week, and that's all been banked, obviously. So, and on the hourlies, same thing. It's pretty much the same story. So with all of these, Aussie dollar, US dollar on the hourlies. If you get in on hourly extensions, entry on M5 reversals. So that looks great. Aussie dollar, US dollar, euro, US dollar looks good as well. Again, it's a bit of a far away one, this one, but yeah, M5, you're just about to get a reversal alert on that now. Pound US dollar, same, looks the same. They all look the same, look. New Zealand dollar, US dollar, same. And the US dollar CAD's all longs. Beautiful hammer. Nice potential hammer. Sort of 3-bar reversal. This is dark cloud cover. If this closes like that and gives us a reversal alert, this is another 3-bar reversal pattern. Yeah. So again, nice looking US dollar Swiss. Look for targets, gaps on the hourly charts, and US dollar yen. We're down in this zone, obviously, but US dollar yen is my least favorite. It's just my least favorite thing to trade. So, yeah, I wouldn't be as interested in that one as the others. Again, the more extended you are, the better the opportunity, obviously, because if it continues to get even more extended up to these sorts of levels, if you ever get up to here, yeah, I mean, it's so rare we get to this level, but if you ever get to that level, you know, that's a put the mortgage on it trade. You know, when that goes, that's going to go. If you shut your eyes and close your charts for 24 hours, when you reopen them after getting into that sort of position, you'll be a very happy person. But we don't get there very often. So this 75 level on the hourly is where I get into positions. This is what this is doing. This EA is just basically getting in on 72 extensions. And just playing M5 reversals. So that's it's a really good strategy for the hourly. Obviously, it's a lot faster, but a little bit more dangerous. You're going to a little bit more drawdown on it because you're getting in on the hourly extensions rather than the 4 hourly. The 4 hourlies are a lot stronger than the hourlies. And again, the lower down you go, the less reliable everything gets. So, right, so that's everything there. Pound yen. Kandakar wants to have a look at. Pound yen. We're stuck in contraction up here at the moment. We're in an accumulation phase at these highs. Yeah, I mean, we're just stuck at the minute up here. Again, so range bound at the moment. So any accumulation is the precursor to a break, and the break is strong, as we've seen on the Dixie, typically. So we're in what, week and a half consolidation at the moment. No idea. Couldn't tell you where we're going. It's going to go up or down from here, one or the other. Nobody knows. Take your pick. Looking at it on the 4 hourly, we've had the reversal alert and retest. We just came up and retested these highs. Lovely bearish engulfing. So really bearish at the moment. And obviously we are coming up and approaching highs from late last year. Pretty much not all-time highs, but highs since 2018. So, you know, this is a very, very, very extended point, yeah, from the pound's point of view. The pound isn't that strong at the minute, so this is a pretty decent area up here. I'd be much more inclined to take shorts at the moment on this one, but if it does break to the upside, you can see where it's likely to be headed. But the fact that we've just put a double top in on this and we've got the reversal alert and the retest, I would say more down, but this is going to be driven by the yen. Yeah, not the pound. So if you get some yen strength and yen powering up, obviously this is going to come down. If the yen continues to weaken, we're going to push up. If we take out this level, we may well get a decent reaction back down from here. But you know, these are the lows. You can see what the market's doing with it at the moment. We're basically pushed up. We definitely don't want to go below 150. And at the moment we're looking at 158, 159 level as potential highs, and then bouncing off of that. So I'll be more short than long, but it's just not in the right place for me, as you know. So I'm interested up here. I'm not interested anywhere in the middle. Yeah, mean reversion is, this is the mean. Yeah, when we get away from the mean, we revert to it. Yeah, think of it like an oscillator. If we're not extended, I'm not interested. But this is high, obviously, so I'll be more interested in shorts. Okay, so that's it, really. Opportunities today. So US dollar CAD I'm interested in because it's just so exhausted, and we've had this big drop on the US dollar. Obviously, we got US dollar news this afternoon to be aware of as well, obviously. So keep your eyes peeled on PPI at 1:30 before we come on at 2. Again, this could well be the complete opposite. It's interesting in that you get positive news on the US dollar and the US dollar collapses. Yeah, it's obviously not gone down because of this news. It's gone down because the market's manipulated it. This isn't bad news for the US dollar. So if we get good news for the US dollar this afternoon, highly likely we will get a pop. So we'll see what happens in New York, in New York this afternoon. But London at the moment potentially could well just continue to grind to the downside, and if it does, that's absolutely fine. The more extended we get, the bigger that move will be when the news comes out, if the news is going to take it that way. Okay, anybody got any questions on anything? Any of that? So not a lot on at the moment. 1.28, that's mainly Euro Swiss. So yeah, I'm just going to hold those positions. We'll have a quick look at the S&P before I go as well. So S&P and NAS, where are we? Yesterday we had a rotation day on both. So we basically just came back into rotation in the middle, so we didn't go anywhere at all yesterday. We did go up, obviously, which is good, but no real strength in movement. This area here, yeah, let me draw it on the chart properly. Yeah, so if you draw a line, it's my break-even line, actually. I don't really even need that, do I? Actually, I'll put that one up at the top there, at the highs, all-time high. So you can see my break-even line here. Is exactly where we close. This area here is where we close, right? And we have tested, and we just haven't been interested in breaking above it until we got the Santa rally. Then we went, yep, no problem, new high. So now we've got a new high up here, and we've pulled back down to the 72. We're contracting nicely. Yesterday, and you see the day before, yesterday we broke above it. So we are definitely off to the upside now. So for me, I suspect we're going to get an update today. We have pulled down a little bit already this morning in Asia, ever so slightly. We haven't had much of a drop, so we've kind of done that. Today's move could well be in London to come and challenge yesterday's low and then push up from there. So as you can see, I've got a couple of positions on both of these. The NAS, same sort of story on the NAS. We've basically put in another update. Obviously, the movements are larger on the NAS, but you can see clearly on the NAS, it's easier to see. A rotation day, when you see basically a spinning top, wide body doji, whatever you want to call it, these are rotation days, indecision days. Yeah, where the market is accumulating positions ready to make its next move. That's what we had yesterday. So big wick to the upside, big wick to the downside, spinning top. Kind of similar to what we're putting in at the moment. So it's non-directional. And when we get these rest days, basically the market is just powering up, ready to move the next day. And it's the same all Forex pairs as well. Yeah, look. So strong push, rest day. Strong push, rest day. Strong push, strong push, strong push. Big push, rest day. Drop, rest day. Drop. Yeah. These are indecision, which means we've got no directional bias. We're just accumulating positions ready to take profit. So they're building a long position here. They're getting out of their long position. That's what they're doing. So that's what we had on the NAS and the S&P yesterday. So I would expect today potentially longs. But if we do get a drop, obviously I'm poised to scale. So what is the screen on the right? Corey asks. Good morning, by the way. The screen on the right. Do you mean the dashboard? This is just obviously these are just windows. So this is my dashboard, which monitors my exposure and current positions, drawdown, profit. This is my chart. These are my dashboards. So this is RSI, 4-hour extensions, 1-hour extensions, and ADR extensions. These are all covered in the Bootcamp. So if you want to go onto the YouTube channel, if you've not been here before, go onto the YouTube channel, Market Structure Trader, and go to playlists and watch the Bootcamp, Position Trader Bootcamp. That explains all about the dashboards I use, how I trade, why I trade, the way I do, and everything. That'll keep you occupied for a bit. Right, so that's really all I've got for you this morning. It's a lot of the extensions we've got and opportunities we've got are the same as we've had. So all the ones that we've had over the last week have all played out. So Corey, with the RSI, yeah. So this you're talking about this one, yeah. This dashboard you're talking about. As basket break even lines, can we also see TP lines for a basket so that we can maintain the TP while ADR range by scaling out, within a ADR range by scaling out? You can't see the TP lines, no. No. I guess you're talking about the EA. But yeah, I mean, you can't really see the TP lines. I don't look at it that way. Really, I'm getting out of positions when I've got profit. So Euro Swiss, for example, if this pushes down today, Euro Swiss down to sort of here, for example, I'll close that, and I'll probably close that, and then I won't do any drawdown control on it because I think it's coming down. But if I was worried about it, I would then do a 0.1 drawdown control on that, maybe. So I've never really wanted to see where my TP is because my TP is a little bit dynamic a lot of the time. But no, break even is the thing that I'm interested in from a position trading perspective. So my goal is to keep my break even within 1 ADR. Yeah. So the premise being obviously when we have a strong move, the profit take move will quite often be around about an ADR. So as long as you can keep your break even roughly around an ADR or 1.5 ADR, you know that you really only need one day in your direction and you're out. That's the logic. As you saw from sort of the was it the Euro Swiss, for example? No, CAD. Let's have a CAD Swiss. So CAD Swiss. So here, my break even was probably here. Yeah. So entered there, break even somewhere around there or there. Been wrong for 4 days, 3 days on the trot. Yeah. ADR push, done. Profit. So that's why I'm always trying to keep my averages within an ADR. Because when you get a profit take move, you get a profit take move on pound US, for example, if you're short on this, profit take move will tend to be something like that. like this, but stronger. This is a pullback. So market structure: high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, another higher high. A higher low will be down to here. A profit take on this entire move will be stronger, usually an ADR to an ADR and a half. So as long as you're scaling into positions and you're keeping your average line here within roughly an ADR, you know that when that profit take move comes, you have the opportunity to, at worst case scenario, get out, break even and lose no money whatsoever. Best case scenario, take some profit and do some drawdown control. Absolute best case scenario, hold the whole lot until half an ADR or one ADR target, whatever you want. Either way, the objective is not to lose money, obviously. Yes, Corey's still going through the videos. Yeah, so the RSI dash, obviously just to explain it quickly, there's multiple setups you can have on the RSI. Well, there's two setups really you can have on the RSI dash. I use it as a kind of strength meter. So it shows me the 4 hour, 14 RSI, 68 and 32 extensions, 70, 30, 75, 25. So basically these lines roughly here. So it's showing me how strong a move we are having at the minute. Yeah, big, strong push. When you get a big, strong push, you get either a pullback or a reversal. So this is telling me how strong the push is at the moment. And I want to be getting in when we're really pushing hard so I can play those mean reversions. Or you can use it in another way as a multiple time frame as well. So you can monitor lots of different time frames at the same time. So this is monitoring the 21 RSI on M5, the 21 on the 15, the 21 on the 30, the 21 on the hourly. It monitors the 14 on the 4 hour and the 14 on the daily. So the idea of this layout here is to show if we get lots of these lit up, it shows you that the move is not only strong, but current, because it is strong across all time frames. So when you get something lit up, maybe up to the hourly, across all of those, it shows you that the move is happening right now. So this is more of a time-based RSI dash. But I prefer strength because I trade slower. I scale in on extensions on the higher time frame. But if you want to get in and out faster, this is a nicer layout, really, I think. But yeah, up to you. Go and play with it. You can use it in any way, shape or form you see fit. It's not hard to figure net pips from open trades for the close in profit at X ADR setting. Yeah. It's, yeah, I mean, if using the EA, obviously, the thing with the EA is the whole purpose of the EA is to do it for you. So if you go and set the EA up and say to the EA, I want you to get me out when we get to half an ADR, yeah, or 100 quid in profit. This is a 20k account, obviously, it was a 20k account. The idea is you let it do it. So I don't need to see it on the chart because I'm not watching it. This is doing it for me. Yeah, if it gets there, it gets me out. It's done its job. I don't have to worry about it. So that's you know, the reason I don't have the profit target on there with the EA is because I don't care. If it hits it, it hits it. If it doesn't hit it, I will manage it accordingly. If it gets to a point of drawdown where I'm uncomfortable with it, which you know, happens, and I deal with it. All right, that's it for today. Not for today, for this morning. There's nothing really else to discuss. So if nobody's got any other questions, I will leave it there. I'll be back on at 2 o'clock this afternoon for the afternoon session. We'll have a look at the S&P, see if we can get some more money out of the S&P this afternoon. Be aware of the news at 1:30. We've got PPI, so be aware of that. That is likely to give the US dollar a bit of a kick. So watch your positions there, scale in if you need to on any, obviously just take profits if you've got them. If you like the video, like the stream, give me a thumbs up, really helps. Make sure you subscribe if you're new to the stream and hit the bell. Obviously then you'll just get notified basically when the sessions are starting, which is 8:30 in the morning and 2 o'clock in the afternoon UK time. But yeah, anything else you need, obviously come into the Telegram group and we can discuss in there anytime you like to. But other than that, I will see you guys this afternoon. Hope you have a good morning in the London session. Be back on at 2 o'clock. I will see you then.